exciting yesterday. So kind of hoping we get a little bit of that again. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, just some fun stuff with the vehicles there, with the BRDMs.
You're looking at me directly while you're doing it. You're
no, I did it too. No, it's all me, man.
Look, I'm just like...
This is what my friends and I call it. We just call it the BDRM because it like rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay for all you pedants out there. BRDM. You got it. I fixed it. You're welcome.
BDRM.
BRDM.
BRDM. CDR.
It's hard, dude.
Why are you doing it? You've got it in my brain. I don't know what it is anymore. Oh, all right. Stadium. Let's go to Stadium instead.
Let's do that. Let's just go into like test track. Let's just absolutely go full on Rondo and just play the most interesting part of the map, I swear.
Okay, it is time to get spicy. We've got our plane path up and in the air, ending over Jadina City. So cross your fingers, maybe we can get some love on that one. But I mean, we went very far south yesterday. This, again, beautiful map. I love it. And I love whenever we see some of the crazier, more interesting circles that we can get in it. So fingers crossed that we'll get a couple of those.
Yeah, I like the northern part of the map, and the eastern part of the map, because it plays a bit like Miramar. So for me, that's kind of fun. But usually we end up just kind of center, again, somewhere in this Bermuda Triangle that Stadium, Joughton, and Test Track create. But we did get kind of a fun one yesterday just in terms of, you know, what teams had to work with and what they had to do in some of those situations. Like the way Petrichor Road was crashing people was super fun. So just kind of looking for some more spicy.
So Twisted rampaging up at the top of this. They're a team that you can never count out. And this year's been a bit more quiet for them, and if anything, EWC could be a big statement for them, and you know the fact that they're going to look for every single opportunity. Opposing side of that, AGAL, man. Like,
yeah,
we're starting to see them find more of their comfort, more of their control. River going halfway through the circle on this one. Interessante.
Yeah, maybe Stadium-ish, like, is kind of the general vicinity, or could go north of the river. We had a bizarre one at PNC where it ended right next to the river. It was absolutely insane, up in those mountains just north of where Hong Lef is. So kind of looking for maybe something a little spicy on this one. A lot of those teams down in the east going to have some work to do to get into this next circle.
City in the background.
What?
I said there was such a pretty city in the background.
Oh, I know.
No.
But we don't ever get that. We're not.
No.
We don't get good things, Matt.
I know. Could you imagine urban ending?
Yes.
So good.
I can. I do. I enjoy urban endings, both playing and watching.
Same. I actually really enjoy playing.
They're so fun.
Mainly because it means everybody has to get close range, where my aim isn't as bad.
I like it just because it opens up a lot of different possibilities and ways to attack a situation.
Yeah,
Speaking of...
This is an interesting drop situation that we've got going on. It's changed the game, and Sharper right on top of each other. Sharper's a bit more separated out, so that's given Change the Game more momentum to kind of play around with this one. They are kind of spread across this hillside, so Sharper going to be to the south with Jedi as well as Thunders. Trizit going to go ahead and get spotted, and that's going to be all she wrote for the duo that's hanging out over here. So 2 easy points right off the start for Change the Game.
Yeah, this is brutal for Sharper. Looked like maybe they were going to be able to kind of get something going today after that first game, but they got knocked out pretty early in a long fight with Geeke in the Erangel game, the previous Erangel game, and this one they already lost 2 players, so going to be tough, but you never know. Blue chips are there. Maybe they can get something done with that, but nice work by CTG closing in to make sure that they get those 2 confirmed points. That's going to be nice for them as they're sitting in 17th place right below the bubble, so they would love to get a few more to get something going. Rock is fine. They are just, they are solid, and
they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a moral victory for them to be had by winning and getting in first place, but sure, qualifying, being at the top of the leaderboard, specifically for the squad, though, what I love is seeing them be much more proactive. Sometimes they could be a bit more passive in their play off of just trying to get into center, trying to get in circle control, but we always knew they could frag. Now they're getting more confidence on that international stage to do that. Squad, though, that's set up for a good game, pretty much centered up right now in a 2-2 split is the Freaks.
Yeah, so the Freaks there, just making a little bit of noise so that if anybody was thinking about trying to drive or get close, you might think twice. That's why you're going to see a lot of players kind of blasting some bullets early into doors and other stuff like that. It's mostly just to kind of fluff up their feathers, make themselves look a little bigger than they are. Team Liquid desperately needing a game to go their way. We know that this could be their opportunity. Who knows how they want to attack this circle, if they're going to just kind of settle in on a 2-2 split on that eastern kind of south, well, it's mostly south-central location that they've got just south of the stadium lake. So I don't know what they're going to do, just kind of keeping my eyes on them. TDT can just get as close to stadium as they feel comfortable doing, set up a bit of a wide split formation, try to punish any rotates that try to go through that road. That road is very dangerous to drive on. That's north of stadium. It is extremely exposed.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of high ground vantage points around it that could easily be usurped in catch-in positions. VP on a tear of their own. I mean, that was a great game for VP. They're going to be very far, like pretty much up against the zone wall over in the east in a 2-1 and very far northern one, as Nixie is going to be very close to DK, what, about 1.5 kilometers away from the rest of his squad, with all of, well, most of CTG in between them.
Well, Nixie's about to run into a couple players from DK potentially. Not sure if that's going to amount to anything, or if he's just going to try stay hidden, or DK got out of their cars. I think they noticed that Nixie's up there. Maybe they saw his vehicle or something like that, and they thought they might need to try to take a fight. Looks like they actually just grabbed a vehicle of their own based on what I can see on the map.
After their performances in the last game, Twisted, taking a nice vacation, getting some scenery in, breathing.
Yeah.
They're still got plenty of control over this. Nixie.
Oh.
PWDDD dead.
He was waiting for them to try to get in that glider, and he found his opportunity. That is brutal.
That's a maniacal laugh coming out from Nixie. I love it. Whenever VP is doing good and Nixie is absolutely vibing, it is scary.
Exactly. He got fired up. Even though they didn't win that last game, he was having a ball.
Yeah, I would not feel bad about losing that last round.
No.
Getting second in that one where you were just like running amok and really just kind of doing whatever you want to do, that's a game changer for mindset. Like, they know that they only need a little bit to qualify. Finding a point early inside of this game, going to be good. Oh, hey, look, I see you too. Oh, what's going on? That is a coach duo that is so strong. Oh, change the game. You might have put yourself in some trouble, as now they've slowed down, and the tail end of VP could be catching them in Correxy. Beamy and Luca Rux have been spotted by Change the Game, so interesting setup is, you can remember also,
what is going on?
Sparking of not.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Dirty.
just, I think that's just Nixie just kind of doing a little prep, watching some of the previous map streams and tendencies of what teams want to do in situations like this, and knew that he could punish a glider spawn, and did so very, very effectively. Not sure if he's going to get in the glider himself or what he's going to do, but
this is all weird over here, because we're nowhere near the circle, but we have Changed the Game, EK, and VP all kind of like stuck over here now as Tycon gets eliminated. And Correxy's going to go ahead and have a glider of his own that I guess they technically stole. VP, you mentioned it in the last game. They are all about stealing the vehicles, it feels like.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if you're given the opportunities, might as well play a little GTA.
Fine.
Yeah, exactly. This is great. I mean, this is a glider that's full health. They're just going to be able to do a little bit of scouting, figure out what exactly GK's doing in front of them. CTG did pull off of this, so that fight's not going to happen. FN Polchon is kind of somewhere in the vicinity as they stopped just to the north of where everybody's kind of rotating. So things getting a little bit awkward outside of the circle. Get so many teams outside of this first circle has made it really chaotic on trying to figure out where and when you can get in.
We talk about center meta a lot, but teams with everything that's going on with the BRDMs and everything else like that, it feels like everybody's like, no, get circle fast, get compounds, get safety as the new key component for later game successes. But we have Rock, BB, SP after their 2 casualties early, going to be coming in pretty late. Then due to the dust up over in the east, we've got those 3 teams that are going to be coming in pretty late as well. But we got Pochon that's going to need to be pretty careful, because I don't think that they're going to be expecting 2, maybe 3 teams coming up back behind them.
I agree with you 100%. Karan is kind of out there on his own, just watching some of these GK rotations. Is FN going to try to set up a trap, or are they just going to try to kind of stay ahead of him and drive around? Is my thought right now, is where my questions lie. Quizzy is taking some shots at Americano from his Pico. but looks like Americano just going to keep driving. It seems like FN has opted to try to get away from this. The problem is they left a trailing car on for information, and he's got Corexi right on top of him, who's going to be able to feed that information over to the rest of VP.
He hops in a vehicle. VP doesn't look like they want too much with it, so with Corexi flying over, should feed that is going to be around Muhoban, and I think that VP looks like they're also doing a quick stop off. So Pochan, 3 members safe for now inside the safe zone. GK did opt into going more north, so really it's just the tail end of it. Caron looks like he should now be fine. He does have himself that EMP field that he's got to be a bit careful of, as CTG is going to be crossing that right now. Everything else calming down. I mean, this is much slower than Erangel.
Yes, there's tons of space in this first circle.
Look at you, Team Liquid. I see you just being safe, but you don't need it. You're in a great spot already.
Well, this is kind of what I was expecting based on our first circle. They do like to drift towards Stadium, so it do be like that.
I love this circle. We were talking about this, 2 days ago? Yeah. Whenever you get a Stadium game, if you get this circle, it can go Stadium, which is great because Stadium fights are just amazing.
Oh, that game was great, yeah.
Even if you go more south, that field has a lot of pathing opportunities that teams can really try to exploit. It's going to be Team Liquid that looks like they were trying to do a bit of that, and they've got Twisted Minds right next to them. And oh, Liquid, you need points, and you are next to a team that is absolutely rocking this lobby right now, so that is going to be punished every single time that you go for a peek. But going back to the circle itself, if we see this shift away from Stadium more into the south, the hillsides just directly southeast of Stadium are a really cool place to fight. Leading into the due south hills, there's a lot thing going over here. And the fields themselves do, again, have those pathing opportunities. We've got Rock, Team Liquid, Twisted, and Petrichor Road already in great power positions inside the circle for the fields. Freaks has got themselves Stadium. AGAL just on the tip of the hillsides just south of that, and that is a great place for AGAL. Roaming that hillside could give them a ton of kills.
Yeah, potentially, but they lost a player early, and I had concerns about the way I saw them play a circle in a similar spot here on Rondo, where they should have cleared a flank, and they didn't, and they should have been a little more aggressive at making sure that their edge was safe, and they ended up paying the price because they left it open for BB team to come in and kind of kick them in the butt. So they need to be a little more diligent, especially with a player down. So it looks like instead they're just going to opt to hunker into a gas station, try to keep those vehicles alive if they can. Freaks are going to fan out over Stadium. You've got TDT in the southwestern part of all of that. You've got CTG making their late move. By the way, VP has 2 gliders, so they are going to be getting maybe a little extra info as they're trying to come through.
All of the information is ours. So with CTG doing this long wrap down next to Yulin, if they opt into coming in from the south, there is going to be a compound just to the west for them, but they have to be careful because there's a lot of tail-end teams coming up right back behind them. It does look like CTG is going to cut directly north, so come into the very southern section of the circle where that compound's going to be at. But it is also going to be Pochan coming back behind them, as Nixie is going to get some vision on them in just 1 second. He's a bit airborne and just to the south of them, so he's going to feed that information back over. This is very well scouted, so that means that VP is going to be coming in as pretty strong. But this is interesting because VP, we saw them go on an absolute bloodbath tear in the last game. With as much information, they're going to be coming in much smarter, but that means that they're not going to be in as much of a firefighty game.
Well, it's going to be tough. This circle has stuff to play in for sure, and there's actually a lot of opportunities to find some open compounds in space. It's just, are you going to be able to get there in time is kind of the big question for them. GK will have some room for themselves out on this western edge of the circle, just to the north of Jiao Tin, and they're going to be able to make a nice rotation. T5 maybe an opportunity to do something in this game. They've been a little quiet today. They were so good the other day. FN just driving in, and this is problematic.
They just roll right in downtown space, but he holds the line together. Carwin finally does manage to get the knock onto him. So do manage to retaliate back in, so they get a hold off for just 1 second. They got to be careful because Gen.G Game's got a lot of angles. Also going to be playing this pretty aggressive. They're roaming up top of the hillside. Aries does get the knock onto one. Nade's going to roll in, follows up with a couple of shots. Pochan in Shans.
Yeah, I mean, they just blind sent it into this position, and CTG was already here holding the line.
Liquid is also just doing a directed send right into Gen.G's positioning right next to Rock. That is a bloodbath point. They just run in hot and heavy. They've already lost Luke 12, but just runs around. Team Liquid's in a ton of trouble. Sparking slowly getting ticked down. Just Kurt, and that's going to be it for Team Liquid. This is bad news.
Oh boy. After they were able to successfully crash Gen.G and wipe them out in the previous game, this time it's Gen.G's turn for a little revenge, and that's a big win for Gen.G, who needed to get a few extra points to start feeling a little more comfortable. Falcons being gate-kept by Twisted Minds, two of the best teams we have on the planet in PUBG esports, trying to figure out a way to duke it out. But I think the Falcons are just going to have to make a rotate, maybe seeing the back end of the lake going to be available with a little bit of space there. The Freaks kind of close. Actually, they might just wrap around them.
This is hard. I mean, even if you can kind of wrap into this and bully. I like this coming in from the north. Yeah, bully the split, force Twisted back together. I mean, that's the way you would play it smart. EK is also approaching from this BB split, but BB is in the process of regrouping, so EK should have timed that out pretty well. They should be pretty comfortable over here. So not too many other teams. This also gives them a great position to foot push into the hills just to the north that we were talking about. That does look like that's going to be a core component point to play from for the later stages of this game, no matter how this circle goes, because we've got roughly 3 different clusters. We've got the stadium cluster, we've got the center of the fields cluster, and then we've kind of got what's going on just on the outskirts of this hill. Nobody committed to the hills yet, so that means that there's no big firefights happening, but everybody kind of jockeying for position around it.
Adoozy's getting a lot of great info here from this glider. He's seeing that so much of these hills that are to the east of BB are wide open, so they can kind of figure out how they want to approach that, when they want to approach that. As long as he can stay up there, he's going to continue to just provide tons of great util. That's Fluky up there that TDT is shooting at. They're not able to really find anything onto him, though. He's pretty far out there. That's a good 400 meters or so. And he will kind of drift back in to see if he can get a little bit more info if possible, try to avoid some of these shots. And he's A-okay.
I mean, at this point, you're just like, guys, they're everywhere. I don't know. I'm getting shot by, like, every single angle. Just know, don't go forward, don't move. Pray the circle goes here, because it's going to be bad no matter where we have to go. TDT just peppering in more shots. BB continuing the harassment. Again, nothing landing yet to make Fluky too scared, but circle's going to pop in just a few moments. With the regroup from Twisted down to the south, it does look like Falcons has leaned more into the northwest. We are focusing up directly onto that hill south of Stadium. That's a strong point to play. And it looks like T5 realizes that they've hopped in vehicles. They're sending it quick. Rock's going to be in the gatekeep position around all that cluster in the middle of the fields. It's going to be also change the game. They've got goals. They're going to be sending it in roughly the same spot that T5 is going to be going for. GK might also have to do the same thing. Twisted in vehicles. They're going to be roaming right up next to Rock. They're going to get a couple of shots coming in after them, but where are they going to stop off? They're just going to have to make the commitment. They're running right into the hillside, and that's going to be where T5 is already set up at.
They have to stop a little bit early. They found a ditch. It's not the safest, but it's there, and they're just going to be trying to hold the line here with T5 already taking that spot. It's going to be tough for them to get any further forward without doing it on foot. T5 busy kind of fighting battles in a couple different directions. Here goes the last 2 players of Sharper. Here goes VP.
Zenith. Zenith's just rolling around, and they're just not going to let him go. Whoa, Beamy. That just bullied him out of the vehicle, finishes him off. VP, though, they've got to send it by Twisted, where we just saw. They stopped in the middle of that ditch where the river goes through. Sharper just runs right through him. VP, same path, and going to be rolling right up on top of Twisted. Shot's going to come through. Everybody's going for the drive-by. Nixie's down. Jumps out. Perfectix holds it. New set's coming in. VP had a plan, and that plan did not work.
Man, Lou there, absolutely nasty work. He's going to get a ton. Him and Perfectix doing great damage to just thwart that attempt. They did take some of their own, but he's pointing over.
I love you.
Yeah, look, they did it, not us, guys. You know, we were holding this. The DN Freaks able to gatekeep the Falcons here a little bit. They're swarming around them. Shrimzy trying to find a way to regroup with the rest of his team as Kickstart holding the line, but getting lit up by grenades. The blue has arrived as well. Going for that first aid, trying to get back up to some level of stability. And the Freaks do lose DL, and they are trying to keep the Falcons pinned on the bad side of this hill.
Hey, blue zone. I mean, Falcons, they're not comfy yet. They're tied up with the Freaks, so this is an important firefight for them to at least survive through or get some distance away from. multiple members of the Freaks right next to him. Salute's still way out in the blue next to Stadium, waiting to backstab. Shrimsy's already managed to hop inside of a vehicle. He's going to rotate away. Haven't spotted out Kickstart, and that's not going to be good for him. Salute also going to be able to come out back behind him. So, yes, Kickstart alive for the time being, but I was going to say the blue zone probably going to finish that one off. I believe that we've got Bean that's coming in for reinforcements flying through the air right now. I think that looks like, yeah, they just want to make sure that they secure this one up. Every single point matters, and that's good heads-up awareness. So make sure that you get the point specifically from the squad that you're tied up with for the time being.
Love the way BB team is playing this. Spreading out, taking a ton of real estate, getting info on what's going on up by that hill. You know, Aduzi was flying around there for a long time. Now he's grounded and putting those legs to good use. Circle. Where are we going to go? Northeast here towards Petrichor Road. Twisted Minds keeps their dip in. Rock, Gen.G, GK, CTG, BB team, TDT, going to have to make moves. DNF as well. AGAL going to have to maybe play some defense here. It might be kind of a situation where eventually TDT has to either crash them or try to gatekeep them.
Well, we've got a death funnel that's going to be happening on the hillside where T5 is going to be the gatekeep position with Change the Game as well as GK, BB, all going to have to push into a pretty scary spot. Flame's got himself a fun toy to kind of roam around the circle from, so it could kind of lead the way, see if anybody's going to be taking shots. The smarter option is, of course, go after the weaker vehicles back behind it. Tosi going to be the one that receives those bullets. Instead, this is not managing to make it in the circle yet. Rock can't move either, though, and let's not forget about the fact that Twisted is looking right down that path. So let's throw in a blue zone nade and Twisted Mind crossfire, both. Gen.G, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Gen.G was on the bad side of the circle, so they had to make the move before Rock could. Santastico says, well, I can figure out where they went. I can just claim the 2 points. I don't know if he's going to get there in time before Petrichor Road does. Oh, well, there's a BRDM there, so there you go.
Unnecessary, but I like it anyway.
Why not? Why not?
Just looking for the last. Where's he at?
Well, now you have a BRDM for yourself.
Yeah.
Being alive still.
And they need that for this rotation.
Yeah, they do. They just got to avoid a backstab here from Bean. Oh, it's identified. Santastico sees him out in the bush. He's going to be able to relay that info over, and Santastico cleans it up.
Dude, I love the way the Rock's playing right now. 6 kills for them, 5 for Twisted. The fight for the top continues. Back over on the hillside, we've got Change the Game, gatekeeping GK, because Change the Game is being gate kept by T5. BB really wants to push over from the west, but no real clean options for them to deal with right now. Just easy. Hasty. Again, not needed, but you never know.
Yeah, you know, he put a little salt in the Gen.G wound there.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been going for a res. They didn't know where the solo was. There's tons of reasons, or, you know, just style.
I like style. I'm all about style. Grenades landing on top of CTG. Smokes have to come out for GK. They got to keep pushing forward. CTG mostly trying to just dig in, keep GK at bay. While BB team's trying to find their way into this circle.
Rock actually has a crossfire position on GK, so they can't move at all. BL is going to go ahead and line that one up. Twisted does hear this, and they keep trying to peek up from that riverbed. They don't get clean sight lines onto Rock, so that's still opening up Rock and a bit more movement. Change the Game, though, still going to hunker down with those shots coming out from Spyro right next to him. They know exactly where he is. They just can't get the angles onto it. Close range does not connect. GK holds out for longer than I thought that they were going to, but now it's going to be shambles of their own coming up from Change the Game. They've got to run in as Twisted has moved right up along that hillside and should be able to spot out Change the Game. Rock on the other side of it. That is a brutal crossfire for Change the Game to have to deal with.
Well, now you got a decision here to make as TDT. What are you going to do? Are you just going to try to barrel down on top of AGAL, try to keep them from being able to get into this next one? Maybe give yourself a little breathing room? Do you try to make a mad dash while other teams are fighting? But Petrichor Road still has that compound to the east, so that's going to be kind of challenging potentially for them. You know, Petrichor Road is going to be able to just take a lot more free fire onto these other teams. That's a good grenade here from Maladoct, as he does find an opener. T5 starting to crumble here as BB team's finding their moment to strike and claiming a position in this circle for themselves.
This is really well read from BB team. They knew the fact that T5 was still trying to hold off what was going on with Change the Game. Twisted was kind of holding down some of the positions that were going on over here, so BB just leapfrogs up. They shift into the north, come in directly east after that, so they get an easy path, only having to deal with what was going to be going on with AGAL is TDT, but AGAL can't move because of TDT's positioning. The South, though, still clustered. BB is shifting back over, looks into this one. Rock also starting to make their push into Twisted's positioning. Down in that dip, every nade is just going to roll right on top of Twisted, and they've got to keep those feet moving, and they know it.
Yeah, they're doing a good job here, though, of letting loose with some util of their own that's keeping them at bay. But this could be a strong push with the BRDM, but if it's Twisted there, you're a little concerned. They usually have a Panzer somewhere floating around in their mix, and they are so good at putting it to use.
And this is 1 versus 2 against each other. Solds eats the Panzerfaust, but Batulin's now down, slowly bleeding out. RBN up on top, no vision to be had. He's just going to drop down some more cover over there. Example's got to continue to dodge out these nades. It's just him and Lou. Change that. It's just Lou still up. Rock wants this push down, but they have to be careful. Petrichor Road way across the circle is taking shots at them, denying their ability to push down and finish out this fight.
Petrichor Road needs points. They're in 18th right now at 46. This is their game to really make a move in the standings potentially. So they would love to get some more connections to go from those long-range shots as Rock trying to finish the job on the team that's below them, and they do. That's going to be Twisted Minds out, and they're going to maintain their position at second, but they're still below Rock.
11 kills for Rock in this game. Beautifully read strategy, holding it together. These guys have come to EWC to play, and I love to see it. It just needs to continue past the group stage. If they keep playing like this, taking firefights with Twisted with no fear, sky is the limit for them. TDT hops out. They're in a crossfire now. BB high ground back behind them. They've got Petrichor Road across, but luckily AGAL makes a shift across at roughly the same time. That distracts BB.
Yeah, BB team now going to be kind of having to fight a battle on a couple different fronts, potentially at least trying to keep those teams at arm's length, which is going to open up just a little bit of breathing room for AGAL. They do lose Hisaki as he tries to get out of the gas station. There is nothing they can do for him. They're going to have to fight as just two. Petrichor Road going to claim that point. A doozy gets a knock with the JS9 onto Jun. Besto going to be there to clean that up, so TDT hemorrhaging players as well.
This could be big for BB, though. They're in a great spot to get a lot of kills, and boy, do they need it. The last PGS champions, they want to make a name on EWC as well. 4 kills right now. They could maybe start the steamroll going. Petrichor Road right on the edge of the zone, but you can see in front of them, no cover, just a couple of trees leading right into that hillside. TDT going down could make this a lot easier. BB's focus is on AGAL. Very close. Destroy gets a knock onto one. Molotov goes down, and Moss running up that hillside once more. Got the nade prepped. Can he get into the right spot? Gonna go a bit too far. Vilt first denies it. Goes for a follow-up, but Destroy stops him in his tracks.
Dude, Destroy with the AK doing work. Keeping AGL's hopes alive. Here comes Petrichor Road. They're swinging in the back. Chewy on point.
They need points. You mentioned it. It is 49, 45, 36. Whoever can walk into this can pick up a ton. Destroy can't commit into the res. Petrichor Road nipping at his heels, chasing after him. While this is going on, Rock is actually chasing into TDT's position.
Dude, Destroy just wiped a BB team. He's got 4 kills on this round. Petrichor Road cresting the hill. Santastico with a Groza gonna wipe out the remaining 2 players of TDT. This is gonna be a banger finish. 4 players for Petrichor Road, 4 other players in the lobby. One is absolutely destroying with an AK. So you gotta be ultra careful here. Petrichor Road, you do not want to lose this opportunity.
Got all the Doritos. Everybody just has to cluster on this hill. The field is entirely open. We are in phase number 7. The circles could be absolutely brutal. Rock's got the inside position for if it shifts away from this hillside. Destroy still needs to get into the circle himself, but he knows Petrichor Road is right on top of him. He's leaning more into that Rock position, shifted down into the south, and could pop off any moment while we can see Rock focused in on the very loud and moving Petrichor Road. Destroy takes some shots at Santastico and reveals himself.
Well, Destroy out in the blue. He's in trouble. 14 HP. I think just decides that that's the better option. Deny the points. Doesn't want to give him over to Petrichor Road. That's the real issue. He doesn't care too much about Rock. He doesn't want to give any more points over to Petrichor Road if possible.
lines up 4v3. Petrichor Road, low side of it. Rock did have to surrender a lot of this circle to shift away from what we saw going on with Destroy. So now it's just straight up firefight. Exlif steps into BL's face, gets denied. Exlif goes down. Rock continuing to hold it together. RBN does go down, none at range. BL trying to be the new point man, but high ground. It's a good crossfire from Petrichor Road. Gotta be careful. One member now up for Rock, and it's BL. Can he clutch it up? There is just teammates scattered both sides everywhere. 1v1 between them. Who's gonna take the round? Petrichor Road needs it, but Rock wants to hold on to first. Blue zone nade down. Ming Ming steps away. Can't really spot out anything just quite yet. BL gets some vision. Exchanges between them. The tree eating a lot of the damage. Gotta deny out. Get the kills. 15 now stacked for Rock.
This is an intense one. Ming Ming, one of the best riflers we have in the world, and he gets the job done. Massive win there for Ming Ming and Petrichor Road.
Petrichor Road needed it, and they got it. Finally securing some more points for themselves, following up off of a big game from Rock.
Oh, man. Dude, okay, so Rock is amazing, but gosh, Petrichor Road there, the huge sigh of relief from Chewy. That was on a knife's edge. That was dangerous because they need every single point they can get. They were not safe coming into this game. They were outside of that top 16, and Ming Ming gets it done.
That is why I love that circle. It is just so fun to watch. Yes, it's got some open areas, but there are ways to navigate it. The decision making between so many of these teams, how that they wanted to handle a very hard